Speaking of which, we have to talk about what's going on at Spurs right now. Antonio Conte with an outburst after his side's 3-3 draw with Southampton. And I mean, an outburst for the ages as well. Now, anybody who watches Italian football, any Italian football fans, are not surprised to see this from Conte. They know this is going to come. But I don't think that we expected it to see it so strong. His words, what he was saying, calling out everybody, the board, the owner, the players. He's since said his words were only directed at the players and not the board or the owner. But he specifically did point towards the owner when he was having this outburst. First of all, what did you make of it?
Okay, I'm a big fan of Antonio Conte. I've covered Serie A for 20 some years until we at ESPN lost that league. And, it's close to my heart. I feel that I know a bit about that league. And I like Antonio Conte. I have never been disappointed with a manager more than I have been now. I mean, he might as well leave. I mean, he should leave. We all know the situation. We know that in the summer he's not going to be there. Why is he there now? I don't care if that's pointed towards the players or it doesn't matter. I mean, Spurs are in the fourth place. They're fighting for a big, I don't want to say title, but as we all know, Champions League is so important financially to clubs and in general. And I don't understand why he's still a manager of that club. I mean, this is something that it's not only that I've soured on Antonio Conte, I'm starting to question actually if he's a good manager. I don't know, because we know that if he has the money, he can do it. But is it still the case? Even if he was given the money, I mean, he spent what, $200 million? I mean, he's getting paid $15 million. And this is the message that we're hearing at this point of the season when Spurs are fighting for the title. That's unacceptable. I mean, he should have been. Unless I missed breaking news because I'm in Poland here, I traveled. I don't understand why he's still a manager of Spurs.
So have Spurs not had the cojones to get rid of him right now? Should they have just sacked him?
Absolutely. I mean, as I said, for the life of me, I mean, it almost doesn't take the interview that he's given, because I think you and I have been kind of questioning Antonio Conte, in general, not wanting to sign a contract, not sure what his future may be, even though he's telegraphed that fairly well, and all supporters that read, anything that's out there know that the future for Spurs is without Antonio Conte. But I truly don't get it. To me, that's unacceptable. And as I said, I'll repeat it again. I don't think he's good at. I don't think if I'm a big club, I don't hire Antonio Conte. And Kay, that for me to say that, I was a big fan of this manager.
Yeah, I know you were. So you think that's a red flag, obviously, that other clubs are going to look, that he's going to say things like this. Did he actually say anything wrong, though? You've used the word unacceptable. He used that a lot in his rant. Did he actually say anything wrong? And if you think he did, what was wrong with what he said?
Everything that he said was true, but managers just can't say that. Not in the situation that Spurs are in right now, because, I mean, this is a big fight. He's right. That's what Spurs are. They haven't won for a long time. Nothing that he said wasn't true, but you just don't say that as a manager, and not in that matter, because it's almost as if he went out of his way to point out the issues with Spurs. And, those issues exist with everybody. I mean, if you want to win the title in the Premier League, you have to spend upwards, I don't know, $1 billion. But that's not the case. We've seen in the past, and look at Arsenal. They spend money, but they're coping.
So, let's say he's staying. What happens now after this international break? That's got to be an awkward atmosphere. Some of our guys on the FC show said, as a player, you usually don't care. You just get your head down and get on with it, especially because he's going at the end of the season. But given what he called them out on, that's an awkward dressing room to be going back to.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'd be surprised if he's still there. He may very well be, and maybe that was his way of saying, put up or shut up, right? It's one of those things. But look, I still don't like anything I see from Antonio Conte. The way Spurs are playing, the way of football, the way he manages. In Serie A, that's a different story, because in Serie A, nobody asks about how you win, right? I mean, everybody's used to a certain way of playing football. But I think Premier League is about entertainment. There's a reason why Premier League is the best in the world. When I say best in the world in terms of that, I think young people or supporters want to watch entertaining football, and he doesn't provide that. And on top of that, he kills the club. So I have zero time for him.
Who's going to change something at Spurs, though? Which manager can come in and switch things up there? If this is what he's saying, if he's saying these players lack desire and lack this passion.
Yeah, of course. Okay, you're always going to, I didn't even think of that. I mean, the obvious names that are out there, I'm not sure, the Pochettinos of the world and all that. So I don't have a name for you. Apologies.
No, it's fine. It's like, but rather, it's not so much giving a name, Janusz. Does it have to be another big name proven manager, or should they take a risk on an up and coming manager in the hope that that might help this side?
Yeah, they could. I just think, seriously, though, when I watch Arsenal, when I watch Manchester City, when I remember Liverpool at their best, I mean, they wanted not just winning it, but in a certain way. And I think that's important. In today's world, I think when you talk about leagues and you talk 38 games, it's not good enough to just play decent once or twice or three times. You have to get the attention, right? I mean, here we are. We can talk about, Real Madrid against Barcelona. We just had El Clasico. Our attention is divided, isn't it? So I think when you're talking about Spurs, that beautiful stadium, the supporters that long for, trophies. It's been such a long time. I think it takes somebody special. I don't think it's just any way of winning, although Spurs supporters will take it. But, you have to do it in style. So I don't have a name, but I think it has to be a project. It's a massive club. It's in Premier League. It's in London. It's a beautiful stadium. And I think they deserve something better than Antonio Conte is offering.
That's Antonio Conte. Talk to me a little bit about Harry Kane, because you wonder what he's thinking in all of this, and if it does set some alarm bells ringing in his head, and if we will see something similar to the summer when he was looking to get away from the club, he was pushing for a move. Do you think he should stick around at the club that he loves and he's grown at, or do you think that he should be pushing for a move again?
Yeah, I'm conflicted, because either he's going to be a lifer, right, which I think everybody would appreciate, understand, right, that if you're not a Spurs supporter, but part of me wants him to succeed, and I don't think that's going to happen obviously under Antonio Conte. I don't know if that's going to happen under another manager, but part of me thinks that he deserves to win something, right? He deserves to be remembered not just by his consistency and in so many seasons scoring great goals. I mean, such a great player for Spurs and country as well. So, part of me, as it stands right now, hopes that he does move. He wanted to leave last year. He gave it this project under Antonio Conte, which I truly believed in until now. That's over. Let's just wait and see who's the manager, because I'm a little bit old school, and part of me kind of wishes that he stays with Spurs and his career. I mean, give him the money, give him the club, name a street after him, give him the statue outside. I don't know, name a stand in this new stadium after him. That's me then.
Thank you very much for watching ESPN FC on YouTube. For more highlights, analysis, and exclusive content, be sure to subscribe.